What's going on, guys? Welcome to my latest build, which is the Wolverine build. This is a Dragonknight 1-bar PvP. It's got insane ultimate regeneration and insane damage and healing. So we'll jump right into the sets. The first set I'm running is the Masters Perfected Daggers. One Nernhoned and one Decisive with a poison enchant and a weapon damage enchant. So we're using this for the twin slashes skill we're using. The next set we're running is Bloodspawn, Head and Shoulders. One medium, one light. One impenetrable, one divines. And we're running this obviously for the extra resistances and the ultimate regeneration. So it's probably the best monster set to put on a DK, and we're stacking ultimate regeneration and also healing. We've got one piece grass of the trainee on the chest. We've got the next set we're running is Werewolf Hide, which is again for more ultimate regeneration. Very unique set, very underrated set, and that's what we're running on the body. And the necklace is a Werewolf Hide necklace as well, infused, on everything infused, and a one piece ring of the trainee and the Oaken Soul ring, all weapon damage. Don't stack spell damage. You want weapon damage, as a Dragonknight gets access to, I think it's minor brutality, so you want to be stacking definitely in weapon damage, not spell damage. So this build is centered around obviously insane healing and ultimate regeneration. So obviously that's what Wolverine is. He has insane healing capabilities, so it still hits hard, this build, but obviously it's focused at taking punishment and healing. So we'll go through the skills first. So we've got Shattering Rocks, which is a nice stun and heals you. Coagulating Blood, which heals you. You've got Flame Lash, which with the stun from the Shattering Rocks, that will set them off balance and activate the Power Lash, which will heal you and do a lot of damage. You've got your Noxious Breath for damage over time, poison, and that gives you the Major Breach. And the last skill, apart from the ultimate, is Blood Craze, which again deals a lot of damage because of the Master's dual wield daggers. Does a nice bleed and again heals you. And then you've got the Corrosive Armor, which again heals you, puts all your resources back up, and the build is centered around popping the ultimate, which again will limit the damage you take. The best ultimate probably in the game. Use it before it gets nerfed, because a lot of people complain about this ultimate, even though it's easy to escape, but it is very powerful still. So make sure you have all your passives in the class skill lines. You just want the dual wield passives and obviously Blood Craze. Ideally you want the light, medium and heavy. I think we're running one piece heavy, one piece light and 5 medium. So if you can get the Undaunted passive, Undaunted metal, that's going to help, because obviously you're going to get a bit more stats. So that's nice. So try and get all your passives if you can. Don't need Fighter's Guild for this. Try and get your Assault and Support passives. We are running Nord again for more ultimate regeneration. Probably the best race for a Dragonknight. Get your extra max health, frost resistance, which is nice against Wardens. You get max stamina, and of course every time you take damage, which in PvP that's all the time, so you're going to be constantly generating ultimate on this build, and obviously you get some nice resistances, and also make sure you have your medicinal use, as your potions will last longer. So if we go into the character sheet, as you can see, the spell penetration is incredibly low because the build is focused on stacking ultimate, and then once you've activated the ultimate, I'll show you actually quickly. So once we've activated the ultimate, we'll buff up as well. You can see that the penetration is obviously unlimited, and that's what it stacks around. So that's why you're stacking nothing into penetration. You could even go a step further and take off the light piece and have a medium piece. I just prefer just to have the light piece for the extra stats, but really you want to keep the penetration as low as possible, because you're only going to be attacking when you're in corrosive, so you can stack into other sources. That's what makes the Dragonknight so powerful. Excuse me. That's what makes the Dragonknight so powerful, is that you can basically ignore spell penetration and physical penetration, whereas other builds have to build into that, because of you're basing it around the ultimate, because the ultimate gives you unlimited penetration. It basically ignores their resistances, so you will hit full whack. So we're using Bewitched Sugar Skulls because I think the sustain on the Dragonknight is good anyway, so you do get a lot from passives, so you can probably run this for your max stats. And these are obviously all your passives from the Oakensole, etc. And obviously again stack into weapon damage. Health around 32.5, I think that's ideal. Don't want to go under 30. And then your max magicka and stamina. You're using a mixture of magic and stamina skills, so I think that's pretty spread fair. The resistances are a little bit low, but when the Bloodspawn procs, you'll probably be nearing around the 30k mark resistances. Critical resistance 2200 is quite good. So again, the sustains are a little bit low, but obviously the passives will help make up for that. Let's go into the champion points. The only two I'd ever bother with in the green for PvP is obviously the Steed's Blessing for the movement rate, and obviously liquid efficiency, because you always go through tons of potions, and this is going to help you to use less potions. And then in the blue CP, got Fighting Finesse for critical damage, and healing is going to help you healing as well, as that's what the build is centered around, healing. Single target Master at Arms, and you got your Wrathful Strikes for your damaging abilities. And I've been playing around with either, I think Resilience is the best because you want your crit a bit higher, because everyone's critting hard these days. I was going to do Reaving Blows, because obviously that will heal you for the damage that you do. That would probably be something else that I would experiment with or use if you don't want to use Resilience. And in the red CP, it's Survival Instincts, Pain's Refuge, Rejuvenation for a bit of recovery, and the Fortified for a bit of armour. So that's the build, and the way it works is that this is, like I said, a healing build, so every skill heals you almost. That skill is going to heal you. That skill will heal you. This skill will heal you. The only one that doesn't is Noxious Breath, but that you need that for the Major Breach. Could be possibly taken off, because obviously once you're in corrosive, the major breach is a bit redundant, but it's still a nice strong dot. So that is a flex spot. You could actually slot that for something else. You could put chains of devastation on, because obviously that gives you a major berserk. Or burning embers again is a nice one. In fact, I might try that out actually, just to see what burning embers are, because then every skill will heal you, or even the ultimate restores resources. So heals ya, heals ya, heals ya, heals ya, heals ya, heals ya. So you've got 6 abilities that heal you. So that would probably make the build actually even better. I should have noticed that before really. But I mean, obviously major breach is nice to have, but obviously if you're stacking corrosive, it's probably better just to wait until you're in corrosive, and then you won't need the major breach because it will ignore all resistances. Trust me to find that when I'm doing the video. But like I said, you can run it if you want, the noxious breath, because obviously it does do poison damage, which will give you some resources back through the is it combustion? Yeah, see, when you deal poison you can restore stamina, so if you're lacking in stamina you could actually slot that. But like I said, it is a flex spot. You can, if healing is too much, you can chuck on a bit more other stuff. So the way this would work is that when you're attacking your enemy, the first thing you want to do is dot them up with your blood craze, flame lash, and then obviously stun them with the shattering rocks, and then obviously whip, light attack, whip, light attack, blood craze. Just alternate between blood craze and the whip, and obviously light attack in between. And obviously only do this when you're in ultimate. Once you're in the ultimate dot up, and then obviously shattering rocks to stun them, and then whip, light attack, blood craze. And obviously when you're not in that form, you will generate ultimate. You'll be in ultimate most of the time anyway, because the ultimate regeneration is insane. So it does work very well. It's very effective. 1-bar builds are still very powerful with the Oaken Soul. I've took down a lot of good players with this build. It works well in battlegrounds, because obviously, you know, corrosive armour in battlegrounds is just brilliant, and it will work in Cyrodiil and Imperial City. But it's definitely my favourite PvP build at the moment, because I said, just the healing is just crazy. You can just go through everything, and it's got strong damage. So I hope you enjoy the build video, guys. This is what I'm going to be running. They are nerfing Dragonknight as of next patch, but that won't be till like at least September, and they might not. I think they're doing something with one of the hills and the passives, but it'll still be strong. Dragonknight, it's always going to be strong, but it is a bit overtuned at the moment, because you can just stack tankiness and do insane damage. So try this build out and let me know what you think, guys. I absolutely love it. And obviously I've only just managed to get the perfected versions. You can use the normal versions. The perfected versions just give you a bit more crit. So don't worry if you haven't got the perfected. You know, the normal ones will still work fine. I've only recently got the perfected daggers. I've been wanting them for years, and I finally got them. So hope you enjoy the build. If you like it, then drop me a like please, and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more. And there'll also be some game clips after this, showcasing how good it is. and I will post a few more videos on some gameplay later in the week. So stay tuned, guys.